And please find a posture of dignity. Connecting with the somatics of strong back, open heart, take a moment to intentionally allow yourself to ground, to feel the earth coming up to meet you, to feel your body resting on, supported by the surface beneath you. And as you listen within and out, simply become aware of the deeper undercurrents of your experience, the climate of your heart. Acknowledging that this is the final day of our 10-day journey together, our journey walking through the threshold of a new year. Acknowledging that in the past 24 hours, even since some of us met yesterday, we've experienced an attempt to overthrow the government in the United States. We've experienced one of the most pornographic expressions of racism, watching as white-skinned people stormed Congress, knowing that if they had had dark skin, there would have been a massacre. So just consider as you sit what's been alive for you in the past 24 hours. What's here right now? Just listening to and welcoming. What is? Nothing to turn away from. Nothing in this moment to solve or try to fix. Nothing to strive for. Letting yourself be here, strong back, open heart to all of it. And then please to bring to mind and heart the statement that you created for how you choose to show up amidst global chaos. And you might have honed that statement already. If not, reflect on what has supported you in the past 24 hours. What is your choice when there is national chaos, international chaos? What is it that helps to bring you to center and to put you in touch with your inner stillness, capacity to hold, resilience? What helps you to meet your fears and anxiety? Just notice what that is for you. See what qualities might come to mind. And please now turn to gratitude for a moment. Acknowledging the nourishment that gratitude gives us. Okay, so welcome back. I want to ask you first to Anyone who's willing to write in the chat box a word or phrase that came to you when I asked about what qualities help to ground you amidst global chaos, national chaos. Anyone who has an actual statement you've created that you want to put in the chat box, or at least to share a quality or so we can receive from one another and receive support from one another. Yeah. And I see patience. My body knows the truth. Slow and steady. I hold my present moment experience in love. I have the time and capacity to show up with fierce compassion. I have everything I need to meet whatever arises and choose to be a force of healing. Fierce compassion, love and compassion. Pausing, breathing into my body. Support from ancestral realm and future beings. I am present to all that is. Thank you. So on this final day of our session, there are a few things that I really want to cover. Number one, I want to hold some more space for questions, for hearing about your experience over the past 24 hours, and especially your use so far of your new declaration and your declaration in terms of how you choose to stand and show up in the face of global chaos or external chaos. I want to speak a little bit more about how we support ourselves with the intentions process. As I've said, we planted seeds, but it's really all about how you cultivate the seeds you're sowing. And I remind people on the final day of in-person retreats that real practice begins when the retreat ends. The beauty and uniqueness of this retreat is that many of you have been doing this in the middle of your ordinary life. And I've heard some really neat gems from you about what that intersection has been like. So thank you for your good work. And I regularly share this metaphor that I feel is so vitally important in terms of cultivating the way of the Bodhisattva in practice. And it's simply a metaphor reminding you that when we first come to practice, it can feel like a flame has been lit within. Maybe we had a life-changing experience. Maybe we experienced impermanence. Maybe we simply read a book or crossed paths with a teacher at the right moment in time. And this flame was lit, relit, to be honest, because it's always been you. And then there is a period of needing to protect the flame and grow the flame. So needing to protect it from the wind, from the busyness of the conditioned mind, needing to show up with compassionate discipline to allow it to grow. Next comes a period where you really find yourself with a much stronger flame than you once experienced within. And you're experiencing harvest of that. You're having moments of, wow, I can really access a much deeper resiliency and wisdom stream coming through me, and willingness and courage. And one does not stop there. From that point on, the flame grows. The flame is love itself, and it grows through your willingness to continue to turn towards and open your heart to everything that has not yet been met with love. I actually mean everything within and out, everything that's happened for all of humanity since before the beginning of beginningless time. This is the work, and this is the joyful work. This is how the flame grows, and it simply begins to grow us because it is a fierce source of compassion. Yeah. So I also had I spoke with a number of people yesterday in the midst of the insanity of what was going down in Washington, and especially the heartbreak of the wild racism piece, of just that imagery of knowing that if these had been dark-skinned people, there would have been a murder going on yesterday. There would have been a massacre. It would have been dramatic. And to just see how it was instead was kind of shocking. And so what I was in conversation with people about was remembering that this field of compassionate awareness, I've named that your first step is center. finding stillness, finding center. It is a grounds through which we allow ourselves to be the space that can hold all that arises in life. This goes back to the metaphor I gave earlier on of the vessel which grows and opens. And so we can be aware of the chaos, we can be aware of the multidimensionality of emotions exploding within. We can be aware of our outrage, we can welcome it into that space, and we can hold it in a place of nonviolence and non-reactivity, a place of love, while we allow ourselves to listen deeply and receive guidance to integrate what is. The image came to mind. I don't know if any of you have ever read anything by D.T. Suzuki, but he was a Zen master in Japan some years ago, and the man who wrote his biography shared the story of first meeting him. He was visiting Japan, and he was at the very top of a tall building when a giant earthquake hit, and everyone was losing their shit, and everyone was going into terror and fear. Really scary thing. Raise your hand if you've been in an earthquake. Even a small one can be just an incredible shock to the system. And he witnessed this man in the center of the top of the building, standing there with arms open, resting in stillness with a huge smile on his face, just letting the whole experience ride through him. And he said, I need to know who that is. That man knows something that I want to know. So of course it was a Zen master. Surprise, surprise. But I share that simply as a metaphor for remembering the dance between stillness and chaos, because regardless of this being a moment that has some hope in the US, some hope for cleaning up so much of the mess we're in, where there is hope globally because of the strength of human spirit, we are living in the age of global uncertainty. In our lifetime, we're going to be navigating a lot of chaos. Climate change presents challenges beyond anything our ancestors had to face. And so we're going to need to know how to meet it, and to be practicing each day with how to meet that with grace rather than reactivity. So I want to pause and just open up the space for a moment for you. Today is really meant to be a time of harvesting the work that we've done together, of integrating. A couple of you sent questions in, which I'm happy to address in this group, but I really want to first say that I'm so touched and moved by each of you. You know, some of you I know well, and I was just thrilled to see you again. And some of you are new to me. And I just had so many moments of being deeply, deeply touched just by that person's smile, you know, just by that person's essence, which even in this format, even through the screen, you can get a sense of. This is an extraordinary group of people, and I really, really wish for all of you that you get to go deep and set roots into the intentions that have come up for you, for your true self, and it is needed. The world needs you. The world needs you. What we're navigating is going to take everything we've got. That means there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for energy to be wasted through the collective conditioned mind. That's the deal. There's not a lot of wiggle room. There's not. And so my teacher used to say, practice like your hair is on fire. And this comes from a Zen teaching about if you found out that you had 1 hour left to live, you know you would be practicing like your hair was on fire. And so really the encouragement for you, how to bring as much joy, and what I'll speak to in a few minutes after we open up to questions a bit, is how to navigate as you ride the ups and downs, which are completely natural, of doubt, of witnessing the kind of BS we had to witness yesterday and what that does to the system, of the moments of fear, the moments of backlash, when sometimes limiting beliefs can come in and say, I'm not going to let you start becoming free from me. And so how we stay on course with all of that. And my favorite thing about this pathway is that it really is, for me, it's been about moving from the illusion of conditional love to unconditional love. What does it mean moment by moment to live in unconditional love? And this points within and out And one of the qualities of this is a steadfast nature, a feeling of having a compassionate mentor at your side in a steadfast way when life is pretty and when life is really, really ugly. When you show up well and when you really screw up, having a steadfast mentor at your side, that changes the entire human experience, and it changes the quality of generosity that we have to give the healing that's needed in our world right now.